Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Today is Saturday. It's January 11th, 2020, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well. My name is Ken Haglind, and we are broadcasting live today from the AM 950 radio station that overlooks the beautiful Bryant Lake Regional Park located here in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. We are on the air every Saturday from noon to 1 to talk about your health and your life. We cover a wide range of topics affecting your quality of life, including wellness and health care, elder care, even end-of-life care and caregiver support. This is the only station in the country that will talk about life and death, and so you've tuned into the right place. For all of you new listeners, the purpose of this radio show is to bring you specialists and experts and people with a passion for helping others to provide insights and recommendations on how to navigate the complexities and challenges of managing both you and your family's health and quality of life. We also have a special focus on our senior population and how we can help you and your loved ones prepare for the various stages of life's transitions. In addition, we provide vital information for the caregivers who are essential in supporting our aging population. We are adding new listeners to the show each week, and thank you so much for letting us know by leaving a voice message or a text on our radio show phone at 612-999-3426. And I'll give that number out throughout the show because that's the number you want to text us if you have a question or a comment regarding today's conversation. Hey, last week we heard from Teresa in Minneapolis and Sam in Brooklyn Park and Mary from Colorado. And last night, I met Mike from Lakeville at the annual Skate for Sawyer fundraiser. Now, Mike's a great guy, great supporter of Lakeville hockey, and we were attending this benefit last night that raises money for two outstanding organizations. The first one is Faith's Lodge. Now, Faith's Lodge is a retreat in Wisconsin for families coping with the death of a child, where they can find hope and strength for the future. Fantastic organization. And the second organization that Skate for Sawyer benefit raised money for last night was the Hendrickson Foundation. And the mission for the Hendrickson Foundation is to enrich the lives of individuals with disabilities and their families through the game of hockey. The Skate for Sawyer event last night was sold out. So if you're interested in attending this annual benefit, which is a lot of fun, they have live music, they have great food, it's just fantastic, please contact Brian Peterson at bpeterson, son1973 @gmail.com. So one more time, it's Peterson, son1973 @gmail.com for more information, or visit the Facebook page of Skate for Sawyer, and that's SAWYER. What a great annual benefit this is, and it supports many, many families that are going through loss and the grief recovery process. So again, thank you all for the kind words and support you give us for this unique radio show. It is an honor to know that we are helping you with information to help improve your quality of life. And we're also getting more listeners from around the country listening to us online. And so you can always hear past shows for us on our podcast. You can just simply go to the radio station AM 950 and scroll down the on-demand button, and you'll see my picture. Click on that, and you can listen to any of the shows that we have broadcast over the last 2 years. We have another great show for you today. I always say that, but every time I get such amazing people on the show, I am so grateful. But today, joining me in studio is Dr. Julia Joseph-DiCaprio. She is the Chief Medical Officer with UCare. We also have Adam Nelson, the UCare Pharmacy Clinical Manager, and Wendy Wicks, which is UCare's Communications and Public Relations Consultant. So we have a great roundtable today, and we're going to talk about the great work that these folks are doing at UCare to provide their members a path to the best health of their lives. Now, isn't that what we're all looking for, folks, is the best health of our lives? So here's the deal. if you have any questions, you've got to get those questions into us during the show. Don't wait until after the show's done to send me your questions. Now, there's two ways to get your questions answered. The first one is calling the radio station and talking to our friendly show producer, Sam Turnberg. You'll be able to ask us your question live on the air by calling 952-946-6205. Once again, that number for a live question is 952-946-6205. Or, you know what, if you're shy, and that's fine, you can directly text me your question to our radio show phone number, which is sitting right next to me in the studio, and that number is 612-999-3426. Once again, 612-999-3426. So again, reminder, if you want to call and talk to us live in the air, 952-946-6205. All right. I want to tell you folks, it is cold here in Minnesota today for you folks that listen around the country. We started the day off at 1 degree above zero, and I just came from a hockey tournament this morning, so my voice is a little bit less quality than it usually is here, so please bear with us on that. But again, if you have any questions, always leave us messages and comments 24/7 on 952 or 612-999-3426. All right, let's get into our show today. I am so excited about this great team of people we have assembled in the radio station here today. Here with me is Dr. Julia Joseph-DiCaprio. We've got Adam Nelson and Wendy Wicks. Welcome to the show, folks. So glad to have you here. Thank you for braving the cold weather here today.
Thank you, Ken. Good to be here.
All right. Well, let's start with Dr. Julia Joseph-DiCaprio. She is the Chief Medical Officer at UCare. Dr. Julia, would you give us a little bit of your background and then how you ended up starting and working at UCare?
Oh, yes, Ken, I'd love to. Well, I'm a pediatrician. My specialty is adolescent medicine, and I love taking care of individual patients and working with their families. I also love taking care of the health populations of people and have a deep interest in the health of groups of people. And that's why I'm the Chief Medical Officer at UCare. I feel privileged to work there because we work hard on improving the health of our members. As you mentioned, we are working to provide our members a path to the best health of their lives.
And so did you just recently become a doctor, or have you been in the field for a while?
I've been in the field for a while. I sometimes joke that I went to medical school about 100 years ago. But I've been a physician for about, I think how old my daughter is, about 27 years.
Okay.
And most of my career was spent at Hennepin County Medical Center, now called Hennepin Healthcare.
Right. Okay. All right. And how long have you been at UCare?
I've been at UCare about a year and a half.
Okay. So relatively new transition there. Okay. Fantastic. Well, good. So, folks, I want to remind you, we have a doctor in the studio. So if you have any questions, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. All right. Next up, we have Adam Nelson. And Adam, you are the UCare Pharmacy Clinical Manager, so you know all about medications. And I'll tell you, we get a lot of questions on the show about medications. So would you mind giving us a little bit about your background and how you ended up here at UCare?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, thanks, Ken. Appreciate being here. So I first got my bachelor's degree at the University of Minnesota Duluth in biology and really had an affinity for the sciences. And so that led me to pursue something in the healthcare field because I had experience working in a hospital, working in a pharmacy. And so that set me in the direction of pursuing my doctorate in pharmacy, which I obtained through the University of Minnesota. And so since obtaining my degree, I've had experience in retail pharmacy. So that think of, normal, Walgreens, CVS, the walking into the pharmacy, picking up your medications. I've worked in the inpatient hospital, so I've experienced performing pharmacy-related tasks in there. I've even worked for a pharmaceutical company, and so I've seen a lot of the wide areas that a pharmacist can contribute to the area of pharmacy across a bunch of different career paths. What led me to UCare is really the mission and vision of UCare. It's strong member focus and really trying to help out the populations that we serve, and that really spoke to me. And so I really appreciate that, and that drove me to really want to work at UCare. And I've been there for about 3 years now.
All right, fantastic. And last, Wendy Wicks, Communications, Public Relations. We've got about 30 seconds here. Why don't you give us a little background about you and how you ended up at UCare?
Sure, and thank you so much for this opportunity, Ken. Basically, I spend my days looking for opportunities to tell the UCare story and inform the community about the great value that we bring. We are a health plan for people enrolled in Medicare, Medicaid, and people who are shopping on MNsure for individual and family plans. But we are so much more than that. We take it deep to heart to decomplicate healthcare for people because we know, as you mentioned, how complicated it can be.
Right.
And so I think that's where UCare really stands out, and we just have great compassion for the folks in Minnesota in helping them get access to healthcare to break down those barriers to living their best health.
Well, we're going to talk much more about that in the next 3 segments. It's time for a short break, folks. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Dr. Julia Joseph-DiCaprio, Chief Medical Officer at UCare, Adam Nelson, UCare Pharmacy Clinical Manager, and Wendy Wicks, UCare Communications and Public Relations Consultant. We're talking about the great work they do to provide their members a path to the best health of their lives. Please stay with us and get your questions ready.
Tom Hartman here for All Energy Solar. One of the myths about solar is that you save more if you wait, but waiting to switch can actually cost you more. While tax rebates make solar affordable, those rebates are often limited and decrease over time. So when you wait, you risk losing some of the incentives that make solar so easy to afford today. And besides, the sooner you get your all-energy solar system, the sooner you reduce or even eliminate that high electricity bill. Make the switch today at allenergysolar.com.
I'm Candy Brothel, publisher of the Twin Cities edition of Natural Awakenings magazine and host of Green Tea Conversations, a new show for people who are on a journey to take responsibility for their health and play a more active role in their family's well-being. Join me every Sunday at 10 a.m. as I interview local experts who share the latest in natural holistic approaches in a fun and informative way. So grab a cup of tea and join the conversation as we awaken to natural health. Visit us at naturaltwincities.com.
This is Ellie Krug from Ellie 2.0 Radio on Mondays from 7 to 8 a.m. Many listeners know that I founded Human Inspiration Works, LLC, which trains on human inclusivity and on how to be welcoming to diverse humans. Today, organizations of all sizes find that they need to train team members on diversity and inclusion. I can do that. Many say that my trainings change the way they see the world. I'd love to help make your organization more welcoming. For more information, go to humaninspirationworks.com. Thank you.
Wendy, great news.
What's the great news, Robert?
Hey, we're on Wednesdays now at 5 p.m.
That's great. What's the name of the show?
Pilot's Playhouse? I don't know.
Pilot's Playhouse. That's terrible.
That is terrible. Hey, everyone should listen in and see what we come up with.
So what's the new show about?
Well, we'll have local and national news and guests that you don't hear anywhere else.
Wednesdays at 5.
See you then.
Are you thinking about buying or selling a house or just want to know what might be going on with one of your biggest investments? Then why not become a house geek? Hi, I'm Kirk Duckwall with Bricks Real Estate and host of the Twin Cities Real Estate Show here on this station with your Market Minute. 4.17 is the average number of showings per week per listing in the median sale price range here in the Twin Cities. This is an early jump up and is a key indicator of demand in the marketplace. The median sale price is also up 8.4% over the same time last year, which is at about $280K. The 30-year conventional interest rate is around 3.72%. This is up slightly over last week. So what does this mean for sellers? The spring market is upon us. Yes, the spring market. It is saying that if you wait to list until it is green, you are going to miss out on some green. For buyers, the inventory of homes will start to rise, but so will the competition and therefore the prices. Are you thinking about making a move? Then check us out online anytime at housegeeks.com.
welcome back, folks. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today in the main studio of AM 950 is Dr. Julia Joseph-DiCaprio. She is the Chief Medical Officer at UCare. We also have Adam Nelson. He is the UCare Pharmacy Clinical Manager. And we also have, as a bonus, Wendy Wicks. She's the UCare Communications and Public Relations Consultant. And we are talking today about the great work their organization does to provide their members a path to the best health of their lives. So we're going to be talking about the things that they do, the services they have to help you get that best health of your life. And don't we all want that for ourselves and for our loved ones? All right, before we get back into our conversation, Wendy, if people have questions about the UCare programs or services, how can they get more information?
Yes, Ken. We like to call ourselves people-powered health plans. So if you want to connect with our people-powered health plans, you can call 612-676-3500 or access our website at www.ucare, that's UCARE.org. You can email us at sales@ucare.org. And finally, you can visit our offices at any time in Northeast Minneapolis on 500 Stinson Boulevard, Northeast.
All right, fantastic. And just so you know, folks, we will give that information out after each break here during the show. So if you missed it, don't worry. Get your pen and paper handy, and we'll get that out every time we come back from break. All right, before we get back into our great conversation here, I do want to mention this radio program is brought to you each week by Minnesota Hospice. They are an independent, physician-owned medical practice serving local Minnesota communities for over 12 years now with innovative and comprehensive end-of-life health care. If you have any questions regarding end-of-life care or support, please contact the compassionate team of experts at Minnesota Hospice. Their number is 952-898-1022, or visit them online at minnesotahospice.com. Also, this radio program is brought to you by the team at Genetic Health RX. Now, these folks specialize in providing DNA testing to ensure the medications you are taking or are planning to take are the best ones for your unique genetic profile. Avoiding medications your body cannot use correctly may help to reduce potential negative drug side effects. The team at Genetic Health RX provides your doctor with a personalized medication management program by using a simple, one-time, pain-free test. It's just simply a rub of the inside of your cheek, and this test is covered by Medicare and most insurance plans. Now, for more information about how this test can help you ensure that you're taking the right medications, please call the folks at Genetic Health RX at 612-991-9930. Once again, 612-991-9930. All right, we are going to get back into our show here, and let's talk about UCare. There's several insurance programs here in Minnesota, and each state regulates who can offer insurance in the state. So, tell us a bit about the background of UCare, how you guys got started, or how long you've been around. So in case people aren't familiar with who UCare is, we can just get a background on that. Doctor,
yes.
Why don't you give us a little bit of background on UCare?
Oh, I'd love to, Ken. Well, UCare started out of the Department of Family and Community Medicine at the University of Minnesota in the 1980s as a Medicaid demonstration project, and has really grown and flourished since then. Now UCare, as Wendy mentioned earlier, provides Medicare, Medicaid, and individual and family plans across Minnesota, but also in 3 counties in Wisconsin. And I like to say that UCare is powered by the hardest working people in the industry, and actually that's because they are deeply committed to our members, providing innovative services and partnerships to our members and to the communities in which they live. We also partner with their doctors, their nurses, and their clinics.
Okay. And how big is your network? Do you guys have in terms of, people always ask, well, is my doctor a part of that plan or not? And, how large is your coverage of network providers?
Thanks for that question, Ken. We are very proud to say that 96% of all Minnesota providers are in our network. So we have a very extensive provider network. And we have a tool on our website to help people find if their doctor is in UCare's network.
Okay. Now, what's the address for your website? So if people have a question while we're on the show, on the air here.
Sure. That address is www.ucare.org or O-R-G.
Okay, fantastic. So the tool on your website allows them to either key in their doctor's name, or
That's correct.
Can they key in their location and see which doctors or clinics are nearby where they live?
Yes, they can search by doctor name, by clinic or hospital name, or through a location search.
Okay. And so both family practice and specialists are also part of your network?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay,
And
okay.
dentists?
Yeah, and dentists as well. Okay. That's very important. Go ahead, doctor.
Yeah, thank you, Ken. All sorts of providers. So physical therapists, occupational therapists, hospice providers. We have an extensive network so that people can get all of the services that they need.
Okay, so there really is not a reason for anybody, if they're a member of your plan, to need to go outside that network of practitioners that you guys have.
Generally, no. We
Yeah.
have almost all the providers that they would need. Occasionally, people do have to go out of network, and we work with them on that.
Okay. And in terms of the pharmacy side, because people always have questions about drugs, drugs, and what I'm seeing, and the questions that we're having here quite frequently this last year, because there's been shifts in the Medicare Advantage plan, cost plan. It's really confused people that are on Medicare, and we can talk more about that in the next segment if we want. But one of the big questions next to is my doctor in the plan is, are my medications covered? And we're almost at the end of this next segment here, but maybe when we come back, Adam, we'll talk a little bit about that in terms of how do people know, or how do they find out if medications that they're currently on are covered under the UCare program.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, sounds great. All right, well, listen, it's time for a short break. We're already up against the clock again, folks. We will be right back to continue our conversation with Dr. Julia Joseph-DiCaprio. She's the Chief Medical Officer at UCare. Also, we have Adam Nelson, the UCare Pharmacy Clinical Manager, and Wendy Wicks is here, UCare Communications and Public Relations Consultant. So if you have any questions on how do I become a member, give us a call. We've only got 2 more segments left, folks, so please pick up the phone, give us a call, or send us a text. And we are talking today about the great work that the team at UCare are doing to help their members find a path to the best health of their lives. All right, get your questions ready, folks, and give us a call. When we return back from the break, please stay with us.
Tom Hartman here, letting you know how you can go solar with All Energy Solar, even way up north in Minnesota. Lots of people ask them, isn't Minnesota too cloudy for solar? No. The truth? For one thing, Minneapolis gets nearly as much sun each year as Houston, Texas. But it isn't just about how much sun you get. It's also about having access to great local incentive programs that make solar affordable. Learn what your options are to save with solar and visit allenergysolar.com today.
Stand up, you've been sitting way too long.
Hello, this is Ralph Nader, host of the Ralph Nader Radio Hour. Join me and my guests every week when we dive deeply into the subjects that matter to you the most, but are rarely on the mass media. Every Monday at 6 a.m., and if you're not an early bird, 9 p.m. on Monday, right here on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Minnesota's appliance specialists are ready. We've competed and earned your business for over 70 years. And 2020 is going to be our best year ever. We're offering guaranteed savings on the world's top-rated appliances. We love helping you find just the right appliances and watching you smile as the savings add up. Then Warner Stelling's delivery specialists make the hard work look easy with fast free delivery, basic installation, and free haul away. Now through January 22nd, take advantage of 18 months interest-free financing. You'll love your new appliances and Warner Stellian.
Supporting the best local and independently owned restaurants in the Twin Cities has never been easier. You'll find an expansive list of local dining options at eatlocalminnesota.com, from classic American comfort food to authentic flavors from around the world. Cafe Latte offers made-from-scratch soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts. Stop in the wine bar and enjoy a unique pizza loaded with fresh vegetables and perfectly roasted meats. Over 30 wines by the glass, Cafe Latte highlights Washington State wines and is the perfect destination for date night or an evening with friends. 850 Grand Avenue, St. Paul. Victor's 1959 Cafe has been serving South Minneapolis traditional Cuban food for over 15 years. Victor's is open for breakfast and lunch daily and now accepts dinner reservations too. Stop in and try the Pollo Tropicale or the Sandwich Cubano, which was featured on Food Network. More at eatlocalminnesota.com.
Dad, you're gonna force me to read this opening, aren't you?
Don't make me start posting on TikTok.
My dad is a double threat, both radio and TV, Matt McNeil.
I was on C-SPAN.
Well, my dad's style is in question, Toyota's isn't. After I get my license, I'd love to be driving a sleek RAV4 hybrid, a Camry hybrid, or a Prius. They're always in style.
Rudy Luther Toyota has an incredible selection of great vehicles, many with a hybrid version. See for yourself at Rudy Luther Toyota, 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Sam Turnberg. Today's going to be mostly sunny with a high near 13. Tonight's partly cloudy with a low around 6. Tomorrow cloudy with a high near 22. Monday mostly cloudy with a high near 30. And Tuesday mostly cloudy with a high of around 23. The Eat Local Minnesota Restaurant of the Week is Victor's 1959 Cafe, offering traditional Cuban recipes in a relaxed, casual, and festive Cuban environment. Come visit them at 3756 Grand Avenue South in Minneapolis. More details at eatlocalminnesota.com.
All right, welcome back. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today in the main studio of AM 950 is Dr. Julia Joseph-DiCaprio. Now, she is the Chief Medical Officer at UCare. We also have with her Adam Nelson, and he is the UCare Pharmacy Clinical Manager. And we also have Wendy Wicks here. She is UCare's Communications and Public Relations Consultant. So we've got a great team here at this roundtable, folks. And we are talking today about the great work they do to provide Minnesota people here, us, our communities, with a path to the best health of our lives. So again, if you have questions about insurance coverage, services to help you or your loved ones improve your life, improve your quality of life, call in or give us a text, and we can get that answered right away for you. Wendy, people are going to have a lot of questions because we're talking about a lot of things here. Can you tell them what the best way it is to get questions answered through your organization and how they can contact you?
We invite your questions. And please call UCare at 612-676-3500 or go to our website at www.ucare.org. Send an email to us at sales@ucare.org or visit our offices in Northeast Minneapolis on 500 Stinson Boulevard, Northeast.
All right, Wendy, thank you very much for that. You are a professional at giving that information out. No, that's great. That's great. Hey, before we get back into our conversation here, and you know, I wish you folks could hear our conversations in between the breaks, because that's where a lot of great conversation happens. But we're going to make sure you get that information here in this segment. But before we get back to that, I want to mention that this show is brought to you in part by Sano Wellness, and they want to remind us that, you know, if you're suffering from chronic ailments that may be reducing your quality of life, or you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed, or you know what, maybe you've tried a lot of things and don't know where to turn for help. Well, here's the thing. Contact the team at Sano Wellness in Bloomington. Through their safe and effective natural healing therapies, they can help you restore your health and well-being. You know, folks, you regularly get your vision checked every year, you get your hearing checked, you get your teeth checked, hopefully twice a year, and many other annual exams. But you know what? Have you ever considered getting your brain checked? You know, your brain runs all those different systems in your body, and if your brain's not working right or working that's optimal, you could have problems. And the folks here at Sano Wellness can help with that with their advanced technologies, amazing things that they can do for you. So find out how well your brain is working by making an appointment with Dr. Christine Stevie at the Sano Wellness Center. Mention you heard on my show here, and you'll get a 50% discount on their amazing brain assessment services. Their phone number is 952-681-2916. Once again, 952-681-2916, or visit them online at sanowc.com. That's SANOWC.com. All right, let's get back into the show here. Now, we left off in the last segment talking to Adam Nelson, and Adam Nelson is the UCare Pharmacy Clinical Manager, and we just started talking about the tools and things that they have to help support people's understanding of what drugs are covered, what drugs may not be covered in the plans, and the tools that they have on their website. So, Adam, let's talk about if I'm a person and I'm wondering about maybe changing coverage from one health plan to another health plan, and I'm wondering, because I get this question all the time, is my particular medication covered under that plan? Would you help me answer that question and tell me how I'd go about making sure that I'm getting covered with the medications that myself or my family is currently on?
Yeah, again, happy to. I think this is an important question too, because this is obviously one that we get a lot as well. You know, working at UCare, medications can be complicated, knowing what ones are covered, which ones are not. There's a lot of information out there, and so happy to point everyone in the right direction. So, first and foremost is your pharmacy and network, and so again, with that same network tools that we talked about earlier, we have all that information available on the UCare website. So you can go in there, either look by your location or look for your pharmacy, and then find out if they're a network or not. The vast majority of Minnesota pharmacies are within network. Very few are outside of our network. So, but that's definitely one tool that's available to find out if your pharmacy is a network or not. Then the next step is what medications are covered, and then what is going to be the cost share associated with that medication. And so we have a number of different tools that are available either through our website or through a conversation that you can call into the UCare office and speak to somebody, or we also just have hard copy drug lists that you can look through and find out if your medication is covered. So first, on the UCare website, there is a drug list search tool. And so by using that search tool, you will find out, is my medication on the formulary or not on the formulary, so covered or not covered, and then what tier that medication is on, and then that tier is associated with either the cost share or copay that person will end up paying for that medication. So typically, the lower the tier, so tier 1 is a lower cost share, and then as you move up to higher tier levels, it then increases the cost share associated with it. And there's different cost shares associated with each drug list. All that information is right available on our website. It will tell you what that cost share is going to be and tell you if it's on the formulary. So if that ends up being too difficult to use, or maybe you just want to speak to somebody, we always have people available that you can just call up UCare and speak to somebody, and they can describe all that to you as well. Okay, so if I have a question, what are your general availability hours during the day? Are you guys available 8 to 4, or what kind of? So if I have a question, I mean, a lot of times here's what happens. I come home from work, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I eat, and I go, oh yeah, I have that question again, and it's 7 o'clock at night. So what hours do you guys have availability for people to talk to somebody?
Ken, our offices are open and our phone lines are available for questions from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Okay. All right. So I got to make sure I call during the day. Yes. And for our Medicare members, it's actually 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. in the evening. Okay. Now, see, that is so interesting to me. So the people that are retired have 12 hours to get the questions answered. The people that are not retired, they're working, have the 8 to 5. So, no, I'm just giving you a hard time here. But so you can call, though, because sometimes it's confusing.
to go online and try to find the site and find the tool that you need.
Yep.
But they can always call and ask.
Yep.
And it's important to do that because I know, especially in Medicare, we get people saying, "Oh, if I'd only known when I made a change from one plan to the other." And I think in Medicare right now there's 156 different choices and options. If you lay them all out, it becomes really tough. In fact, we had Senior Linkage Line on here recently. A great organization. They do great work, but they literally help walk people through, helping them understand things. Doctor, do you have a point there?
I did. There are people who need other services as well, so help beyond being able to call or go to our website and look up information, and that's why we provide other services, because health is really complicated. It's physical, it's mental, it's social, so we have nurses and social workers as well that are dedicated to helping our members if they need that type of care management and care coordination. Most people are able to figure things out with the help of family members or by calling us. But some people need additional help, and we provide that to them through care management and care coordination.
Okay, so that's different than the customer service line in a sense.
Yes.
Okay.
So some of our members, I wouldn't say qualified, but have such complicated health conditions that they
Right.
need that type of service.
Okay, so that's an escalation that people can have
Yes.
access to. Okay, well, let's get back to the pharmacy side here, because I know that just so many questions. You mentioned the word formulary, non-formulary. Could we just explain that real briefly as to what the difference of formulary and non-formulary and what that really means to the layperson out there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it is confusing, and it's that's kind of that jargon for health plans, and I'm happy to hopefully answer some questions on that. So formulary is, you can think of it as the list of covered drugs. It's the medications that are covered that have an associated cost shares to it. Non-formulary are the drugs outside of that scope of that list of covered drugs. And so another important point, though, for our plans at UCare is that even if it's a non-formulary medication, it's technically not covered. There's still always exceptions that are available, and those are things that get reviewed. And so there always can be exceptions. And so using that term not covered is kind of a little bit of a misnomer, but there are ability to have exceptions.
Do you guys offer an appeal process in case somebody does have a non-covered and it's kind of unique to them or unique to their condition?
Yep.
Is there an avenue or a path that people can
Yeah,
appeal?
absolutely. And so if there is a situation that the medication is not specifically on the list of covered drugs or on the formulary, there is that appeal process, and then there is a conversation with the practitioner about why this is covered or why this medication is required, and we work with the providers on that.
Okay. Do you have something that sounds like an advocacy type service? Do you guys have something, maybe an escalation level, that if people are struggling with either getting the right care or they're maybe a complex situation, do you guys have we have ombudsmen in our practice in the agencies that support us that we work with, but do you guys have any advocacy support for people? Maybe you mentioned that earlier, Doctor.
For individuals, particularly if they have a really complicated medical conditions,
Yeah.
or even not too complicated, even just diabetes, maybe not an advocate or ombudsman, but the route for them to, and their doctor or their clinic, to work with us to figure how we can get what they need.
Okay, that's great to know. We've only got about a minute left here. I want to get back to the medication side here before we end the segment. Are there, you guys must have checks in place that would help with DDIs or drug-drug interactions, or helping people prevent complications from medications. I mean, we over 1 million people a year end up in the emergency room because of drug-related adverse reactions, and I know well over, I think, 120,000 people actually die each year because of drug-related interactions and adverse reactions. Do you guys have things in place to help prevent or help the providers and practitioners manage those kind of things?
Yeah, so one of the services that we offer is medication therapy management services, and that is a service where you can meet with a pharmacist, and they will do a comprehensive medication review. And what that is they'll go over every single medication that you're taking, go through it in detail for why you're taking it, how long you've been taking it for, and then evaluate potentially all the interactions that are occurring between all those different medications. They'll then summarize all that information and give that to you, and then I'll also give it to the provider. And some of those recommendations may be that there is an interaction that maybe a medication shift is required. And so that would then be communicated to the provider to hopefully make those medication adjustments.
Okay, well, I have one more question on that. We'll get to the last segment here. All right, folks, the music is cueing us out here. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Dr. Julia Joseph-DiCaprio. She's the Chief Medical Officer at UCare, and Adam Nelson, UCare Pharmacy Clinical Manager, and Wendy Wicks, UCare Communications and Public Relations Consultant. And we are talking about the great work their organization does to provide their members a path to the best health of their lives. Please stay with us.
I'm attorney Rachel Schroman of Schroman Law in St. Paul, and I am passionate about providing legal services in the areas of estate planning, probate, and elder law. My clients receive the attention and compassion they deserve, with their peace of mind being my top priority. Enjoy the comfort of knowing that you have planned for the worst so you can confidently continue living at your best. Visit schromanlaw.com. That's SCHROMENLAW.com.
We use technology every day to help manage our lives. Why not use it to help manage your medications? St. Paul Corner Drug offers several free tools to keep you on track while taking your medications. Use our mobile app to quickly order a refill, or the Meds on Q application, which turns your smartphone or tablet into your very own personal medication attendant. Email and text messaging options let you know when your medication is ready for pickup, making efficient use of your time. St. Paul Corner Drug, pharmacy the way it should be.
Located just north of 50th and France, the Great Wall Restaurant has provided a delicious taste of authentic Chinese cuisine since 1981. Specializing in Szechuan and Peking dishes, they offer one of the most extensive menus in the Twin Cities. Favorites include hot and sour soup, pan-fried dumplings, and mushu pork with homemade Chinese pancakes. Stop by their Edina location or call for takeout at 952-927-4439. See the full menu at greatwallrestaurant.us.
I'm Richard R.J. Eskow, and this week on the Zero Hour, we'll be discussing political corruption, Wall Street shenanigans, our corporate overlords, digital dystopia, and maybe throw in a surprise or two as well. All this and more on the Zero Hour every Sunday night from 9 until midnight on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
They really appreciate what she's done as a sister as well as a soldier and, supporting their country.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join.
Family members that are soldiers in the Army National Guard inspire and influence, setting a path for others.
It's validating knowing that, I kind of did my part to make sure this is what they actually wanted and that they feel the same way I do. I'm really proud that we get to help shape the future, and I know that my sisters are going to be amazing soldiers.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share in.
A lot of pride, and they're just out there doing something every day and then serving their country as well.
I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture.
Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Minnesota Army National Guard. Aired by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
Folks, we are coming to you. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today in the main studio of AM 950 is Dr. Julia Joseph-DiCaprio. She is the Chief Medical Officer at UCare. Along with her, we have Adam Nelson. He is the UCare Pharmacy Clinical Manager, and along with them, we have Wendy Wicks. She is the UCare Communications and Public Relations Consultant. And we have been talking about the great work they do to provide their members a path to the best health of their lives. So if you are not a member of UCare, I encourage you to call them and talk about the benefits of maybe switching to them as your healthcare provider, health plan provider. So to do that, though, Wendy, if I wanted to change plans and look at UCare, what number would I call and how do I get more information?
For all the information you need to know about UCare, please give us a call at 612-676-3500 or go to our website, www.ucare.org. Email our sales team at sales@ucare.org or visit our offices during business hours in Northeast Minneapolis at 500 Stinson Boulevard, Northeast. We look forward to meeting you.
I would encourage you folks, if you have any questions or you just want to have the peace of mind to know, am I on the right health plan? And as we have talked on this show and we've talked on several previous shows, this is a complicated thing, and that's very important because if you don't have the right plan, the right coverage, it can make a big difference in the quality of your life. So be sure and reach out, give them a call. They'd be happy to talk to you about what their health plan provides. And we are just scratching the surface today on the amazing programs and services that UCare offers its members. So again, please reach out and do that. Okay, we were talking about in the last segment drugs and medication management and the tools to help find out if the drugs you're on are covered. There's so much to that. We're going to talk a bit more about that in this last segment. But I did want to talk to Dr. Julia here a little bit about their mental health. We've done shows on mental health here in the past, and they've been highly downloaded and had great response. And mental health is becoming such an important aspect of health, and it goes beyond the physical side. And I want to make sure that we get a chance to highlight the fact that you guys do have such great programs there for people regarding mental health.
Yes, Ken, we do, because we also recognized how many people have mental health or substance use disorders, or if they don't, someone in their family or someone they know has a mental health or substance use disorder. So we developed a department of mental health and substance use disorder to develop a comprehensive program to reach people in many ways to address those conditions. In fact, in order to increase the access for our members, we developed a dedicated mental health and substance use disorder phone number that people could call and get information about access or any questions they might have. And I can give you that number now if that...
No, let's do that. Yeah, because before the show ends here, I want to make sure we get that number out.
It's 612-676-6533. And then the other number that people can call is 833-276-1185.
Okay, let's give that number one more time here for people. And this is regarding the mental health support that your plan offers.
That we offer.
Okay.
If anybody has questions,
Yeah.
even if they're in crisis, they can call us.
Oh, really? Okay, good.
Granted, it's during the day.
Just
So
during
of
business
course,
hours,
if
yeah.
they need to speak to a provider emergently, we wouldn't be the person to call. But to find
Right.
out what's available for them, you call 612-676-6533 or 833-276-1185.
Fantastic. Okay. I mean, substance abuse issues, anxiety, depression, there are, we run across it all the time in our practice with end-of-life care. All right. Just a couple minutes left here in the show, but I did want to get back to Adam and talk a bit about the medication therapy management program. You guys have a really unique program there about helping make sure people do look at their overall polypharmacology program and ensure that they're not getting wrong medications that are interacting with each other. Could you speak about that briefly here before we close the show?
Yeah, I think this is an important service too that not a lot of people are aware of, and I'll speak specifically about our Medicare plans where this is an essential service and it's covered. And so for Medicare, there is qualification that's based off of number of medications taken, number of chronic conditions, and then total drug costs. And if you do qualify, UCare, we will contact you to notify you of your eligibility for this service and encourage you to obtain this and give you tools and provide you with information on where you can obtain this service. And so we have providers that work within the clinics here within Minnesota that can provide it. We have providers that work within your local pharmacy that could potentially provide the service, or you could obtain it through the telephone. by having somebody contact you and then perform these comprehensive medication reviews over the telephone.
That is just huge. I mean, I just think every plan should have that. Everyone should be doing that, because as we age, we tend to take more medications. And what I found is that people go to several different practitioners, and they don't always know what the other practitioner is doing for a specific condition, and yet they're looking at a different condition. And so, again, we're at the end of the life cycle. So people come to us in our practice with 20, 25, 30 concurrent medications. We've had one person had 65 medications they were on. That's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show. And again, we're all just shocked by that. But I think that's an area that we just need to have a lot of help with.
Exactly, and that's where the service can really help out, is to really look at the whole medication picture comprehensively and then assess where are things that need to be adjusted or tweaked, and then make those recommendations back to the providers.
That's fantastic. All right, folks, if you don't have that service currently with your current health plan, I encourage you to call these folks at UCare. Wendy, what's that phone number one more time before we close the show here, if people have more questions about the health plan?
That phone number is 612-676-3500.
Fantastic. Okay, we are nearing the end of the show. I want to thank Dr. Julia Joseph-DiCaprio. She is the Chief Medical Officer at UCare, for being here, along with Adam Nelson. He's the UCare Pharmacy Clinical Manager, and Wendy Wicks, UCare's Communications and Public Relations Consultant. We have been talking today about the great work that their organization does to provide their members a path to the best health of their lives. Now, you've heard it, folks. There's a number of programs they have that you may not have with your current health plan. So please give them a call and talk to them about joining UCare and their health plan. We hope you enjoyed today's show. Please contact us with any questions or comments you have regarding today's conversation, or let us know of topics you would like for us to discuss on future shows. You can reach us by phone or text anytime 24/7 at 612-999-3426. Please join us again next Saturday, and until next time, live well.